What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Hushlife Podcast. This is episode 8. In this episode, we have a little recap reunion with Daniel Roberts, who was the star of our premiere a year ago in Find a Way. We catch up with Daniel to see how he's doing and relive some of the memories we made on that amazing elk hunt. Also, we will be giving away a brand new EXO Mountain Gear K3 pack system. With the size and color of bag, the winner decides. To enter, all you have to do is text Hush Pack, one word, to the number 29071, and you will be entered to win. If you are already a member of our Text VIP club, don't worry, you're automatically entered. This giveaway will be running from Monday, February 2nd to Friday, February 26th, with the winner announced on or before March 1st. No purchase necessary. Ladies and gentlemen, episode 8.
Daniel, how's work going, buddy?
It's been pretty good. Same retail lifestyle, but things have been changing here and there in my schedule and whatnot.
Dude, the last year, you've had a lot of stuff change in your life. Holy cow. It was literally a year ago this past week that we were all in Salt Lake at the Hunt Expo, and we debuted Find a Way.
Let's give these people a little introduction if they don't know.
Yeah, Daniel, tell the people who you are.
Let the people at home know, Dan.
My name's Daniel. I live up in Washington, and the Hush guys took me last year on an elk hunt and produced a movie called Find a Way, which you can find on their YouTube. And I just live in the Northwest. And
so was your first?
I have spina bifida, and I am in a wheelchair. I'm paralyzed from my knees down, but I've never let that slow me down in any type of way as much as possible. I just do everything that I can.
Let's take it a step back. Let's talk about 2 years ago, 2019, right? We were in Portland, Oregon at the what's that show called?
Pacific Northwest Sportsman Show.
Sportsman Show. Daniel and his brother-in-law came by our booth and introduced themselves, but we instantly recognized Daniel because of his handle and his support for us and our channel over the years.
His avatar.
Yeah. But Daniel came and introduced himself. We all knew who he was just because we had seen his positive comments on our stuff for years and years and years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
probably
Daniel.
2012, 2013, he's was commenting on videos way back.
Yeah, so, since the channel started.
Yeah, back in 2011. Anyway, so Daniel just made it known that he wanted to go on an elk hunt one day, and that was his dream. And luckily we had the opportunity through some friends over that used to run the Wine Cup Gamble Ranch had a tag for us, and we took Daniel out on a hunt. And like he said, we made a movie out of it. And the rest is history.
The process was crazy, right? Like, so we meet Daniel for the first time. He's everything we would have expected him to be. Super polite, friendly, just positive in every way. Same with Ryan, his brother-in-law. Got to hang out with him a couple days in Portland. And then we went directly from Portland to Salt Lake to do the typical Hunt Expo and setting up there, kind of our home show. And out of nowhere, a younger gentleman came up and was like, hey, love what you guys are doing. So my dad is a ranch manager at this big ranch in Nevada. And we're able to get, tags on an annual basis. And he'd love to try to do something with you guys. And it was just like immediate click. We know somebody that could use an elk tag. And this is less than a week apart from the time we met Daniel till the time Clancy came and talked to us in the booth. And that was like kind of how it all started. We made an open-ended promise to Daniel in Portland that we would get him out on a hunt, but we didn't really know what that meant or how we were going to make it happen. At the time we had no tag, no connections, no anything, but we knew it was something we wanted to do. And then, Clancy shows up and is like, hey, would you guys want an elk tag on this big ranch in Nevada? And it was like immediately like, absolutely, we have the perfect person for it. So that happened in February. Took some time to get the tag and work out the arrangements with the ranch and make sure like everything was going to be good. And then amongst ourselves, we kind of planned, prepared for the chance to let Daniel know the good news. So what did we do there, buddy?
Yeah, so that was fun. That was all going behind the scenes without Daniel's knowledge, really. And so we all flew out to, did we fly into Portland?
Seattle, bro. Come on.
Dude, I always forget. I'll just go on a plane and land somewhere and be like, I don't even know where I'm at. We flew into Portland and drove to Daniel's work, and his management staff and everybody was super friendly, super nice, totally coordinated this like surprise for Daniel. And
Dude,
Daniel,
just to interject there, they were fantastic to work with, but there was a lot of back end stuff happening because we were essentially asking them if we could come in during work hours and be disruptive. They ran it up through corporate. Daniel works at the Bass Pro Shop in Tacoma, so if you guys are in the Northwest, go say hello to him. But the leadership team there had to check with corporate, and then eventually they became like phenomenal like partners in helping us set up the surprise.
Yeah, so we're out in the parking lot basically game planning like how this is going to go down, getting all nervous and stuff, and we're filming for the movie. And Daniel was inside. Weren't you testing jerky like at the basically right past the register? You're passing out jerky samples?
Yeah, it was one of our sample event days, and I was getting it ready for my shift to pass out for the day.
And so that's typically what you do. Let the people know what your job is at Bass Pro.
Well, I used to be in our events department, which I would do any events for holidays, or like we have snack days, or we have kid events in the store, fishing ponds. I would generally work with those and help coordinate those. We no longer have the events department now, so I usually greet or work in many of our departments. Like last week, I was just working in our camping department just because I needed somebody. So I just kind of float around now.
From your perspective on that day, was everything seem normal?
Yeah, I had no clue you guys were planning or anything. I had no idea.
I was nervous. I was nervous that somebody at your place of work was going to tip you off.
Mm-hmm.
Your facial expression when we came around the corner and you realized what was happening was priceless, man. I think the words out of your mouth were, Casey, Eric, what are you guys doing here?
Dude, your response
was really who you were.
Casey's response is classic. He walks around the corner and he's like, Daniel,
you work here? Anyways, awesome. All of that is on the movie we did with Daniel called Find a Way. So we'll link that down below, but you can go check it all out.
It was cool, man, because we had a chance to get Daniel's family there to be a part of the surprise. I mean, anybody that was working at the store that day came and rallied around him, and we were able to kind of share the news that we got him an elk tag and a bunch of other great goodies from, partners of ours that we work with, like a new rifle, optics, camo, I mean, you name it. And just said, hey, get ready. It's August right now, but come November, we're going on an elk hunt. So it was a pretty sweet deal. We just flew in and out for the day, a really quick trip to Seattle. And, from that point forward, Daniel and his brother-in-law, Ryan, were working on, shooting the rifle that once it showed up, getting it sighted in. And we were just working on the logistics with the folks at the ranch, and, can't say enough great things about the guys and gals at the Wine Cup Gamble Ranch. They were so hospitable. Arlen, who was at the time one of the ranch managers, was farm manager, I guess it is. He was just so great. He was the guy that made a point to get the track chair, which ended up being just a complete game changer. And our way to hunt once we got out there. And for those that aren't aware, an action track chair is essentially like a motorized wheelchair that has full on tracks on it, and it can pretty much go anywhere. I mean, it doesn't have a ton of juice. It's got a little bit of a governor on it, but we put some miles on that old bad boy, and Arlen was a huge factor in making that happen. And there was actually a group out of Nevada that was kind enough to donate that chair. So the group owns the chair, and then they essentially lend it out to folks, loan it out. And so they loaned it out to us. And I think, once we got to the hunt or whatever, it was super cool. But we asked Daniel, hey, what do you want out of the hunt? And it was just, in his own words, it's like, dude, I want to go hunt. Because we had the potential to shoot an animal out of a vehicle with his tag. So he could have shot an elk from a truck or a side by side or, things of that nature. But he's like, dude, let's go hunting. Let's use this track chair. Let's go see if we can spot and stalk an elk.
Like, yeah, I didn't want to take the easy way out and just shoot from a vehicle unless I absolutely had to. It's like, that's not my idea of hunting.
So what was your, like, once you got onto the property, kind of had that first chance to go do a little scouting, what was going through your head?
Quite a bit. I was just taking in like the surrounding area and being with you guys and everybody at the ranch, and just kind of soaking it all up there in the beginning.
And so prior to coming out there, there was a lot of firsts that we checked boxes on. And
You guys helped with a lot of firsts.
So let's walk through some firsts. First bull elk in the wild scene, correct?
First bull. Yep, first one seen.
What else did we have?
First bugle heard,
First bugle.
which I think that was pretty cool how it all worked out, because even though we were hunting a late season tag in November,
Right.
they were definitely showing some running action, which is pretty phenomenal for that late. It was November.
It was September with them.
Yeah, there was a big herd bull out there chasing other smaller bulls off, rounding cows up. Like, it was pretty cool to see that, even being that late in the year. So we got first bull elk scene, first bull elk bugle,
Cow talk.
Yeah.
First time
Lots of cows
riding,
mewing.
driving a side by side.
Yeah. Drove the side by side.
Yep.
drove the
First
pickup
time in the
truck,
track chair.
first spot and stalk, right?
Yeah.
First time getting winded by elk.
Yeah.
A couple times. That's
First fish on a fly rod, wasn't it?
right.
Yeah. First fish on a fly rod.
Yeah, we did a lot of stuff out there, man. We had
a lot of stuff that way.
The overall experience that trip had, I still think to this day it's probably one of, if not the most meaningful pieces of content we've ever created. I really do. I think Logan did a really fantastic job of editing that story together, and just hit on a lot of key points that we've always been so passionate about since we started the brand. And just couldn't be more proud of how that all turned out. And yeah, if you haven't watched it, I just couldn't encourage you enough to check it out. It's a great story. Ultimately, Daniel was successful in his adventures. We had some trials, we had some tribulations, we had some failures, but we got it done in the fashion that he wanted to. We got a spot and stalk on some bedded elk, and was able to make two really fantastic shots on a nice 6-point bull. And man, just that part of the video still to this day gets me emotional when I watch it. It really does. Like, just the way it took place, and how everybody was able to witness how it went down. So we were, it was just so cool.
I go back and watch that ending regularly all the time.
Pretty amazing milestone, really, if you think about like when you first met us in Portland and kind of the aspirations that you had for wanting to go on an elk hunt and try to get an elk. And, we were confident that we'd get you one, but at the same time, the limitations of the track chair certainly were challenging. Right. The elk were in such a large herd that it was really difficult to sneak in on so many eyes. So the main bull we were chasing was just constantly in a herd of, I don't know, 50 plus elk probably.
Oh yeah. So many
it was a big herd.
And that was our target bull. He was really cool. Like, just a awesome character to his antlers. And that was the goal. The whole trip was try to get that bull, but it was tough with all those eyeballs, and just the track chair is a little bit noisier, not super noisy, but noisy enough. And then just trying to find cover. A lot of the country we were hunting was more open sage country.
Yeah, we tried a few different things. So Daniel got to mob that track chair all over the desert sagebrush, and we were using these giant ditches as little alleyways to kind of sneak around. But that was just what made it fun. I think Daniel got to experience a couple things also. Going back to first, is we missed the first chance at him. He did shoot at him while we were kind of did a small stalk and then kind of set up in some hay blinds look-alike, like a pile of straw hay or whatever. But yeah, man, that leads to those missed opportunities, I think, makes it that much more rewarding when you finally connect. Because this wasn't just a simple, easy hunt. We put on many stalks that were blown, many chances that were just like so close. And I know from my own experience that those low times make the good time when you finally get one that much better.
Yeah, there was many ups and downs. It was legit hunting. We were out there doing it.
Roller coasters, right? I think I told Daniel while we were out there, I'm like, man, you look at all this country, there's a reason these elk are right here where they're at. It's because it was so open that they could see for miles. They could see any danger that was coming around them. And that's what made the hunt so difficult, was there was no cover to try to sneak in on them. What was your overall thoughts on your first elk hunt? Like, what did you take away from that?
Well, I definitely learned a lot. And a lot about hunting and brotherhood. Just a lot about life, even just not taking things for granted, and all kinds of lessons. It was overall just a good learning experience and definitely a lot of fun.
There's a few laughs to be had, no doubt. Certainly some tears.
Definitely.
It was it was just a lot of emotion packed in. Lots of naps. Daniel was a part of the
nap squad,
official shot getter team. He fit right in with Logan. Those guys were battling on who could snore the loudest. But yeah, it worked out good though. Like we had some failed attempts, and then eventually found like a smaller, manageable group of bulls that we watched bed down. Honestly, not terribly far from kind of like the little ranch house that we stayed at, and we were able to kind of use like a sprinkler derrick or whatever to sneak down. Pivot, thank you. Sneak down and get into position, and then just really waited them out. And eventually the group of bulls kind of stood up to get up out of their bed, and Daniel was able to make it happen. The cool part too is we were rotating on who got to hunt with Daniel. So each opportunity to spot and stalk, we'd rotate in and out. And I think it was a friendly, competitive nature of like, who's going to be the lucky one with Daniel when this all happens. And like Eric was with him when he missed that opportunity at the big bull. And I think, Casey's like, dude, I know you want to hunt with me, bro. You didn't have to miss though.
That reminds me of my favorite part of that whole hunt is the night I did have you in the blind and that bull came in and we were set up and our communication just wasn't there. And I'm like ready for Daniel to shoot, and the bull's standing there at like 300. And I look over at Daniel, and Daniel's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, why didn't you shoot? And he, I love that, man. I don't know if that came across in the video as well as I remember it, but that was pretty cool.
Right.
And we just laughed it off and moved on, right?
We did.
Daniel, you were waiting for Casey to give you the green light, like, all right, go ahead and take the shot, right? And then Casey's thinking like, oh, he'll just go ahead and shoot.
I'm glad it didn't work out that night because we got to hunt another day.
Definitely. That's what it was.
And a better bull.
Yeah.
Literally every time that was those close calls was just a reminder of sweet, we get to keep hunting.
Yeah.
Because every time we went on top, it was so much fun.
The way it all played out at the end too was great because Casey and Eric and other folks that worked at the ranch climbed up onto these hay bales, and with binoculars and spotting scope could kind of watch everything go down. So myself and Martin and Logan and Daniel snuck down the pivot, got in position, and then everybody else is in the backdrop just kind of observing. And so it was just super cool. You can actually hear it in the video after Daniel shoots and the bull first falls over the first time. The crowd erupted in applause in the distance. You can kind of hear it. And then
the hay bale crew.
Right. And then the bull stood up and kind of just, we had to refocus and get one more in him. But it was just, the way it went down was awesome for everybody to be able to witness it and be a part of it, really.
Yeah, it was definitely a memory that won't be forgotten.
Yeah, and I feel like the title of the movie, Find a Way, it kind of describes it the best. And I want you to explain in detail, because I think you said it best while we filmed you once, that you got to find a way. And I remember you mentioning something about like having someone help you isn't a bad thing. So in your own words, like describe that feeling, because finding a way, making it happen. And if you have to ask for help or get help, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, in life in general, no matter what we're doing, we're gonna face something at some point in time, and you might need help. And it's nothing to be prideful over, nothing, or afraid to ask, or then you just need help, and they just happen to be that hand for this hunt in particular. But the same concept can go for life in general, and I'll ask help if I need it, or I just always find a way.
I love it, man.
Yeah. We asked Daniel for his thoughts and feedback on what we should call this project. And he came up with the concept, Find a Way, and just couldn't be more fitting for not only the hunt, but obviously a lot of things about your personal journey in life. And we touched on it a little bit earlier, but explain to those of us who are maybe a little naive what spina bifida is.
Spina bifida, it's a birth defect that affects the spine. And my spine was outside of the body when I was born. And because of that, they have to put it back in, and whatever nerves they cut to put it in affects how high your paralysis is. Mine is from the knees down, but I do use a chair to get around now. When I was younger, I did walk around with crutches, and really young, I just walked around with like leg braces just fine. Played sports, lived life, hunting, fishing, did everything. It's like there's just no excuse not to, just because you're disabled.
You don't ever bring it up, but you were kind of a BA back in the day, wheelchair basketball, right?
Yeah, I played a little bit of wheelchair basketball. I
See you downplaying
it. He's very humble.
Downplaying it.
I remember seeing a couple of those photos, dude. You were ripped.
Yeah, I used to be ripped. Now I'm just round.
So, I think it's interesting. You have a girlfriend now.
Yes, I do.
And did I read that right, that she has spina bifida as well?
She does, yes.
Okay. But she, what's her paralysis?
She has a different form. It affects her lower limbs as well, her legs and feet. And she is able to walk.
So tell us about this young lady. How'd you meet her?
I met her at work. She may or may not be my direct lead in my department. But work's cool about it. They don't mind as long as we do our job. And it's whatever.
Yeah, guys, this whole topic where we're going right now is really one of the reasons we wanted to kind of get on here and do an updated podcast, which there's so much that has happened in between. So we went from the hunt, and directly from the hunt in February, we had Daniel at our booth at our Hunt Expo, which was like just an awesome experience. So many of the fans that came up and wanted to talk to Dan and get autographs. Like, you were the star of our booth that entire time, and it was so much fun having you there.
That experience alone was different. People wanting autographs from me, and it's like, I'm really nobody. It's like, but all right, it was definitely different.
Yeah, so I mean, we should talk about that for a while, but moving forward, all of a sudden, over this last couple months, I'm getting texts like, "Hey Eric, I need some elk shed antlers." I'm like, "Yeah, you have a set here. What do you can come get them anytime." Because again, flashing back a little bit, my buddy Wes, he's got a YouTube channel, Rise and Shed. He actually had a set of the shed antlers of the bull that was our target bull during Daniel's hunt. It was a really goofy bull on the one side. And Wes drove out to gift Daniel that set of shed antlers. So anyways, moving forward to a couple months ago, I'm getting texts like, "Hey, I need a set of sheds." I'm like, "You have a set, dude. They're in my garage. Like, come get them anytime." I'm like, "What do you need these antlers for?" "I want to build an antler arch for my wedding." I'm like, "Wait, what?" Wedding? So again, to kind of fast forward to these last couple months, Daniel, go ahead, take the lead on this whole topic that Casey brought up.
Well, hold on. We gotta fill the people in. There's a lot of time in between here. So we get you to Salt Lake, right? I think this is all a cool thing, part of the story.
It is. It really is part of the story.
your family was able to join and come down with you. We did the movie premiere in the theater, the Gateway Megaplex Theater, like we do before every Hunt Expo. We had a great turnout of folks. We had some fantastic support. We raised a bunch of money, and we were able, with the help of our very good friend Brock at Track Action Mobility Chairs here in Utah, we were able to gift Daniel his very own Action Track chair. And we don't take credit for this because we couldn't have done it without every single person who attended that event. That event raised the money to pay for that chair. And so it was just super fantastic. Brock is fantastic because he too is in a wheelchair. He's got a ton of use with the track chair. He's involved in other charitable organizations that help take people on their first hunts that are disabled and unable to do it on their own. He was there. Sydney Try No Feet was there. There's some just great people that supported that event. So we got Daniel his very own chair. The folks at Monarch Mountain Taxidermy donated him his shoulder mount, so Daniel was able to get the bull, mounted, and then they set up a plan to essentially get the elk, the chair, all up to the Seattle Tacoma area from Salt Lake. And then to Eric's point, he was at the booth, met a ton of people. We launched it on YouTube simultaneously with the movie playing, so there's a lot of momentum around the video, and again, just people love the story. So at that point in time, you're pretty much famous. You're well known.
Pretty much a rock star.
No big deal.
NBD.
And then you head back, and life starts just changing kind of rapidly. And I think it's important to point out that through this process, you shared with us that there had been challenging times in your life where things weren't great, right? Speak a little bit about some of those challenges, because again, we're going to build up to where you are present day and some of the great things are happening. But I want to hear some of the things that you mentioned to us about, challenges that you faced growing up, challenges you faced trying to find employment, things of that nature that, again, I think maybe those of us not familiar with disabilities and things would be maybe naive about.
Right. Well, having a disability, it's not easy. I mean, some days it is, some days it's not. I mean, but that can go with anything in life. But with it does come, I've battled and still do occasionally depression. Used to be really bad. I was in a very bad place at one point in time. And I have no problem admitting that. It's like, it's just part of life. I am okay though. And so, yeah, it just comes with it. And it's like up until 2018, not one place of business gave me a chance to work for them. They would either look at me and come up with some kind of excuse to politely get around not hiring me, or just flat out wouldn't because I didn't have experience. Which, how are you going to get experience if you don't get a chance? And so
you
Bass
dealt
Pro,
leading up to Bass Pro really was your very first job, am I right?
Yes, Bass Pro was my first job. I had a friend that was working there at the time when I got hired that I grew up with. And she spoke with the management and was like, hey, you guys should give him a chance and just see what he can do at least. And then they told me to apply, and I did 2 interviews, and they gave me a chance. And I'm still employed just over 2 years now with them.
Super cool. What did it feel like when you finally had an opportunity to like have that first job where you're making some money, and just the fact that they trusted in you? Walk us through kind of what that transition was like in your life from going to more or less like being very dependent on where you lived with your parents, and not having an opportunity to get out a lot. And so what was that like jumping into your first job?
It was definitely an adjusting period because I hadn't worked to that point. I just wanted to. I was ready to, but it was still an adjustment period. And so just getting used to that. And in a way, I told people that that job, in a way, literally saved my life when I was in those dark places. And so for that, I was grateful.
Yeah. That's heavy stuff, man. I think again, a lot of us take for granted just our freedom and independence. And I think as we've gotten to know Daniel over the last couple years, that's what I've seen change tremendously in your life. It's just you're gaining more and more of your own independence, and it's
A
easy
little
to
bit
take
more
that
each and every
for
day.
granted. Yeah. And so I appreciate you sharing that stuff with us and in the audience.
Yeah.
I think there's
Yeah, man.
lessons to be had there.
Thanks for opening up. That's tough to do. But yeah, I agree with Brian, man. Like what we've seen, how much we've seen you grow in the last year. It's awesome. Obviously, we absolutely love it. You're a close friend of ours. But it's just like that positive attitude. The whole, I always say that like people are led to meet or intertwine for a reason. And, you came by the booth for a reason, and everything happened after that. But just to see how much you've grown since we've met you is phenomenal and it's inspiring to me. But it's all about your positivity. Ever since I've known you, every comment you've ever made on not only like the Hush channel, but like when I used to do my personal channel, I remember you like always positive. Nothing but positivity I've seen out of you, and it goes a long ways, man. You're going to inspire. And I think we told you that, that through that movie, I think you inspired a lot of other people as well.
Yeah.
Oh, sure, man. And Daniel, I want to share this because I haven't had a chance to share it with you yet. But like you said, that inspiration goes beyond your reach, beyond your knowledge. And we can sit here and read all the positive comments, and we can know that those people took the time, which these are some of the greatest comments ever on that movie. But I was at the gym the other day, and someone approached me, and kind of focused, headphones in, whatever. It's kind of like, oh wait, what? And he's like, hey, Eric from Hush, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, dude, I got to tell you, I just moved back to Utah not long ago. I'd kind of fell out of the hunting scene. I used to do it when I was a kid, but I just watched that movie where you took Daniel out hunting. And he's like, dude, I just want to thank you. That was an awesome movie, and it inspired me to get back into hunting. So like,
really cool.
yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe it. So your inspiration to all kinds of people on this movie goes way beyond your reach, and it's never ending. That was literally like a week ago, and people are still watching that video and still finding motivation and inspiration through your story.
That's awesome. That's been one of the cool parts, is like even just at work, I'll have people come in that will know who I am. And like just a few days ago, I had a kid, he was probably, I don't know, 12, 13, maybe 14. He made his mom come back in the store because he'd saw me, just so he could meet me and take a picture.
No way. I'm sure you've had a handful of that kind of stuff while you're at work and elsewhere, right?
Oh yeah. It happens quite often at work. Somebody will come in and talk to me and ask about the movie and ask about you guys, of course. And, see, a couple weeks ago, I was out with my family walking the waterfront here, and this guy just comes up to me and was like, hey, I enjoyed your movie. And that was like the first time like completely out in public outside of like work. So that's the only place it's happened.
Guys,
So
give Daniel his space. Quit interrupting him when he's out in public with his family. There's times for autographs and pictures. Just let him enjoy himself. Rock star status.
It's just such a neat. It truthfully is. To Eric's point, it's so incredibly inspiring for just so many folks. And again, I think those darker moments and those more challenging times that life presents for all of us, I think you can just appreciate the good times so much better when you've had some challenges and struggles to go through. And
Absolutely.
being able to overcome some of those hard moments, and the independence part, I think, is what has really resonated with me for you the last year. Just gaining more independence, gaining more confidence, gaining more self-esteem from these events that have compounded from people being so kind and positive and letting you know that, right? Like
Yeah,
that stuff goes a long ways. That's
it really does.
the positive environment is something that we've always tried to commit to, from the way we portray our content to who we are as people to how we treat others, to you name it. And again, that stuff is meaningful, because I know, Daniel, you probably spent a few times reading through some of those comments, and
Oh, yeah.
there's some phenomenal words that people have shared because of your
Yes.
story. And that is the positive part of the platforms, which
And like I try to take the time when I can to reply to them and just, let them know that I am thankful.
so we had that great experience in Salt Lake at the Hunt Expo. Everybody had a fantastic time, and then we had to part ways, and you went back home, and shortly thereafter COVID set in, and things have been certainly different, but you nonetheless have been able to kind of continue to build the momentum, the independence, the positivity. So walk us through a few things that have been huge changes. Now we're kind of coming up to speed on where things are at present day for Daniel.
Well, over summertime, met my current girlfriend, and I no longer live at home. I live with my girlfriend and her 2 kids, and I'll be driving soon. And just
So talk us through
working.
the vehicle component, because that was kind of a cool story too.
Okay. This Christmas, this last year, my best friend Justin showed up at my house Christmas morning and had a gift to unwrap. And I opened it, and it was a set of keys. And he was like, "Well, let's go outside." And outside was this lowered, so I could easily transfer into a Chevy S10 truck. That, life takes over, and I haven't been able to really drive it to this point. But
So it's equipped with hand controls, correct?
yeah, it's equipped with hand controls, fully ready to go. I'm just waiting to get the license, which now I do have a driver's permit, and I'll be able to start practicing and then take the drive and just go for it. Start living life.
So man, those are some absolutely huge pieces of independence that have fallen into place, right? Yeah, getting, not that you didn't love living at home with your folks or what have you, but I'm sure it's very different now, sharing a residency with your girlfriend and new family. The car component is going to be massive change in your life here in the next 6 months or so, when you're ready and raring to go and out on your own doing donuts and stuff. So like, just fantastic positive changes. I told you the other day we talked, I'm like, dude, you just sound so happy, man.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I'm just living life and got some good people behind me, good woman by my side now. It's like, it's all good right now.
So where you're at today, what kind of advice or suggestions would you give other folks that maybe are dealing with a disability and are in a similar position that you've been in at times and are going through? We've received a lot of messages from either folks that are currently, in a wheelchair from a disability and are interested in trying to maybe get into outdoor activities or hunting, or maybe somebody that's in their family that's looking for ways to get them to have an experience like the elk hunt. What kind of advice could you give those folks?
As far as like hunting and stuff goes, there's many organizations. You just have to research and find ones that are near to your area or somewhere you would like to hunt, maybe a different state. And there's different programs, like here in Washington, they have a disabled hunters program where you can get gate keys and different hunting opportunities. It's just a matter of taking advantage of it and just reaching out for help, honestly. Start asking people. And so
There's a couple groups, like the Disabled Outdoorsman group is a national group, and then there's some like subgroups from that. There's a Disabled Outdoorsman Utah group, and I know it's a tight community, right? They do a lot of great things, getting folks out on various adventures, and they are also extremely resourceful for being able to find different things like the track chair availability. So if you found yourself in a position where you could go on a hunt, these guys might be able to help find a chair that you could use or borrow. Action Track chairs is another resource. We can link all this stuff in the description box, but a lot of folks were curious like what that chair was and how could they go about trying to find one. And I think, it's safe to say that group from Brock to Sydney to, yourself now are lifelong friends. And, this new, unique group of people that you can talk to and share stories with. And I think that part's pretty cool too.
Yeah, I mean, I just was texting Brock just the other night just to say hi, just because. And so it's like it's a whole new group of friends. Like I'll message you guys or whatever just to say hi. And it's really cool to have new contacts and that you can reach out to and ask advice for, or where to find this or that.
I think those chairs too are something to point out. It's above and beyond hunting. Like you shared with us that it was near impossible to go on the beach because your current wheelchair there's no way to do it. But a track chair would bomb down that beach no problem. Or,
any type of weather.
Logging road, it doesn't matter, anything. Like it's just versatile to get you out in some elements where a normal chair wouldn't really be viable because you might get it stuck or you might pop tires. You shared that kind of a couple of those experiences where just you'd pop a tire trying to go down like a logging road if you ran over some berry vines or something. So the chair just like
berry vine or sharp rock, tires are done.
Yep.
Because you've sent some pictures to me out while you're on hunt, so why don't you kind of talk about a few of the experiences you've had with the track chair? Where has it been able to take you? And
I took it out this last season for elk, which it was fun just getting out. But again, it was hunting, and we ended up not even seeing a cow or anything the whole season, which is kind of a bummer, but that's hunting.
That's elk
So,
hunting.
we took it out to the woods and down some logging roads and took it wherever we could. I got out with my brother-in-law, Ryan, for hunting season.
that's awesome, man.
Does anybody remember the group that loaned us that chair in Nevada? I'm trying to find them just to shout them out.
Was it Nevada Outdoorsman?
Yep.
Or something similar?
Was it Nevada Outdoorsman?
Nevada Outdoorsman.
Yeah, so they're a group out in Nevada that they own, I think, one or two chairs, but they'll loan them out or take people on hunts with them, which, Arlen, going back to what Brian said, Arlen reached out to him. We were thinking that we wouldn't really need one. We had the Can-Am side by side, but it was a game changer. It definitely allowed Daniel to hunt the way he wanted to hunt. And so big shout out to those guys for borrowing us that chair.
Yeah. It definitely changed the whole aspect of what we could do on that hunt.
So now let's get down to the brass tacks. I believe we've seen some pictures, Daniel, of some jewelry.
Whoa. Are we allowed to talk about this?
Well,
Yeah,
you tell me, Daniel, but we've seen some things. Just trying to figure
Has this
things out.
happened yet?
Where are we at in the process, bud?
Technically, no, it hasn't happened yet. She does know it's coming because we've been planning it together. But we will soon be engaged as a couple to get married. It's just honestly one of those things. We haven't been together very long, and some people have questioned it, and some haven't, and they're happy about it. Whatever. It's just kind of one of those things where, honestly, you just know. Like she goes through the same exact things I do. It's like our story is pretty crazy. We grew up going literally to the same doctors and never realized it. It's just
No
like
kidding.
all kinds of things. So like there's no way at one point we didn't see each other.
That's wild. You guys are the same age?
Yep, same exact age. She's 4 months older than I am, but yeah.
So you guys work together. How long have you worked together?
Since we've been together, basically. Since
Okay. So it wasn't like you'd worked with her for a year and then all of a sudden this romantic side took off? It was like she
No.
came on and instantly you knew.
Yeah, she was a new employee, and she actually approached me and asked if I wanted to hang out and go on a hike with her, and then went on from there.
Is that what the kids are calling it nowadays? A hike?
Yeah, we went on the hike. Huh?
Yeah, it's so funny, man. I just pull up my text messages from you. So November 16th, Daniel reaches out. He says, "Hey, brother, will that washed gray Hush hoodie, the one you've been wearing, will it be released? I hope so. I need it." I said, "Yeah, I think so. I think we're going to drop these on the 20th. This one should be in the lineup." Awesome. Even my girlfriend was like, quote, "I want that," quote. I've got Hush content and the Hush brand. And I'm like, what now? No introduction to the girlfriend. So that was the first time back in mid-November. Daniel mentioned his girlfriend. And, you know, for those who are watching the video format, Daniel was nice enough to send me some photos of them out together and their dog. And there's his girlfriend in the Hush hoodie. So just, again, Daniel spreading the Hush life, you know?
Yeah. I mean, even last night, the daughter, she wanted to, let me wear one of your hoodies, and she took the camo Hush hoodie and was wearing it around.
That's
We
cool.
took a couple pictures with kids.
Well, it's amazing, dude.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
Every time you text me, I'm just so happy to hear from you. First off, I'm happy to hear that, you know, you found someone that you love and care about, and you two have making that decision to kind of share your life together. It sounds like you can both relate to each other, and that's just,
we relate on so much.
yeah, I'm super happy for you.
Thank you. It's definitely a good feeling and a good change in life for sure.
I mean, I'd argue that it's best year yet.
It might be.
Best season yet.
That's right. It's just so apparent though when we speak and seeing you in person for the first time in about a year, you can just see it, dude. You can feel it, and man, we're just all so incredibly proud of how happy you are, and just love to see it, brother. Love to see it.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's been times where I think I shared this with you in a text where, you know, maybe I'm even out on the mountain feeling unmotivated, or I'm at home feeling unmotivated, and I have tags that are good. And man, there's been a handful of times just through my own thoughts where I'm like, what would Daniel want to do? Like, would Daniel take this time to go hunt, and regardless of the success of the hunt or punching a tag, would he still get out and enjoy this? And you cross my mind all the time, man. You really motivate me. And I just sometimes think, like, if Daniel could hike in this canyon, I guarantee he'd do it. So you've pushed me out in the field and through my own life in ways that, you know, I probably haven't shared with you. But yeah, so thank you.
That.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, we say it all the time, or I say it. I mean, part of our brand is, you know, we love to help out, give back, you know, get new people involved in the outdoors. And, you know, I feel almost selfish sometimes that we do it because it makes us feel so good. But like, you're a perfect example of why we all should be looking at helping out or giving back, because, you know, just us taking you on a hunt, just because we wanted to show you that we appreciated your support over the years and what it's led to, like Eric's saying, like, you've inspired us way more so than we've probably ever inspired you. And through that movie, we were talking, you've inspired so many other people around the world, and just through your positivity, man. And we appreciate it. I thank you for our friendship over the last couple of years.
Thank you. I definitely do not take your guys' friendship for granted. That's for sure.
Sometimes, man, it's like you just need that first little piece of movement for things to happen in your life. And I think, you know, whether you're trying to be healthy or work out, or maybe make a career move, or dealing with personal things, momentum is a big part of that. And oftentimes the first component of making that first step, kind of that commitment, is the hardest part of the process. Yeah. Sometimes it's only something you can control, but other times it's something other folks can help you along the way with, right? And here's an example, in my opinion, where maybe through the resources, of the hunt and some other things, us and some other great folks that helped us support you kind of gave you that first little bump of momentum, and you've just run with it the last year. And to see the changes is just, it's fantastic, and I think, we can relate to that. If sometimes, trying to get back into shape or whatever, that first attempt at going into the gym or jumping on a bike or going for a hike is the hardest part of the whole process. And once you do it, then the momentum just kind of builds. And next thing you know, you've got, a 30-day streak of being active and you're feeling so much better. But I don't know why our brains do that, but that first part is sometimes hard. And I think, I think it's just important to realize too, that how you project your own, thoughts and positivity onto other people can be so beneficial, because maybe somebody else just needs to hear, that one uplifting comment or piece of feedback, or, and that'll be the true change in their life to make things better. And again, I think we should all try to strive to continue to do more of that stuff.
Yeah. And real quick, I'm going to flash back, Daniel, to the story I told you of the gentleman at the gym who approached me. Just wanted to say thank you. It was only a couple weeks later when we did our phone call with one of our fans named Jeremy, who unfortunately passed away from pancreatic cancer.
Right.
That same gentleman I met at the gym left a comment. Well, he knew Jeremy.
Oh, wow.
Very closely. And he saw what we had done to try to help Jeremy and his family through that hard time, and to help raise some money for all the costs and medical bills and everything. And that gentleman commented on there, and I'll never forget it, because he tagged one of his friends and he said, I don't know what his friend's name, but he said, at so-and-so, I told you there was a reason why I found that video on YouTube. These guys just helped out Jeremy, who was a really close friend to his. So how a lot of these things we do come together and just carry on with that positive message is crazy. So for that guy to find your video through YouTube, connect with us, and then only moments later see that we were helping one of his dearest friends was like, it's just crazy,
That's
man.
really cool. It comes back in full circle in many ways.
It really
does. February has historically been kind of the month where we really bear down and focus on giving back and philanthropy-based projects. Over the years, it has oftentimes been from our movie premiere, where we've been able to do a raffle and raise a lot of money with the help of so many folks that attend the movie, so many of the folks that we work with. This year's been a little different. We haven't been able to do a movie, but we have definitely continued to double down on the giving back. Some of you may be familiar with this, others may not, but when we started this brand and we had no legitimate audience following to speak of, it was important for us to figure out, like, why are we doing this? What's the reasoning behind creating this brand, aside from just sharing content? And we've mentioned it before in different cases, but there were three main things we kind of kept coming back to. The first part was inspiring new hunter and angler acquisition. So how can we get more people enjoying the outdoors, whether that be kids or adults, either way. The second part was just bringing some awareness to various hunting access things, conservation initiatives. Now we're kind of jumping into some policy stuff here and there, but just trying to, again, provide some more information to a greater audience that maybe isn't as familiar with certain things. And then the third component is just giving back. And that to me is the one that really resonates more than even any of them, I think, is the giving back piece. And to Casey's point, you definitely feel a sense of guilt at times, because when you give back and you don't expect anything in return, there's a great feeling that you get. I think individually we've maybe done it at times throughout our life, but leveraging our audience and our platform to be able to help other people has definitely been the most satisfying part of, my experience with our brand that we have. And, the full circle thing is crazy. There's so many people that are willing and able to help. So just wanted to kind of lay that groundwork that we're going to continue to double down on that. This month we've helped out a couple families in need. And I don't say that to take credit for it. I say that to thank so many other people that may be listening right now or watching that have contributed either kind words or thoughts or prayers financially. It's just so amazing to see the support of the hunting community when people come together and work together and do great things for each other. And it's been a cool couple of weeks, even though we haven't had a chance to do a movie and see everybody in person. There's been a couple examples where we've really been able to see a lot of folks come together to help each other out. And man, I love to see it.
Well, Daniel, any closing words, thoughts?
Just thank you for inviting me onto this podcast with you guys to hang out again. It's always good to see you guys and talk to you. Like I said, I value your guys' friendship and consider you guys brothers, honestly.
Well, likewise, man. We appreciate your friendship as well, and we look forward to growing our friendship. I'm just still waiting for my best man invitation in the mail, which I'm sure is going to be showing up soon.
You know how that'll go. You'll be looking at him like, bro, where's the ring? In case of what are you talking about? What ring?
I didn't say ring bearer. I'm just the best man. I'm not in charge of that.
The best man holds the ring, bro.
No, the ring bearer does.
We're
No,
all
not
one package, though, Daniel.
I'll be Eric, dude, bringing in a ring on a little pillow.
Daniel. You already know who the closer is in the deal, all right, man? I don't even think this is a piece of question.
No, you guys will definitely be invited.
Yeah,
Well,
thank you, Daniel. Again, it's great seeing you, man. It's great seeing that smile and hearing from you and getting caught up on what's new. Super happy for you, and thanks again for coming on the podcast and everything you've done for us.
Daniel,
Yeah, guys.
for the folks at home that have fallen in love with your story, your inspiration, where can the people find you on the Instagrams?
Daniel Roberts _PNW is my Instagram. And then Daniel Roberts on Facebook.
Excellent.
I've added people occasionally on Facebook. So
Go follow Daniel, guys. And, if you have been inspired by his story, let him know. Share some of your thoughts, some of your feedback. If you've never watched the Find a Way video, you can find it on YouTube. All you got to do is type in Find a Way Hush. It will pop up. It is an hour and 23 minutes of really fantastic storytelling. And again, one of our most probably meaningful projects we've ever done as a group. So Daniel, you're a great man. We love you, brother. We're so excited for you. Keep keeping on. And hopefully next year we can reconvene at some expos and maybe get out and do some fun things. Get that action track chair back out, doing cool stuff.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, thank you guys and love you guys as well. Thank you for all the opportunities and if anything in the future again. So I'm grateful for all of you.
Likewise, brother. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate the heck out of it. We'll catch you on the next one.